Hello everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for joining me. I'm Tina, and I was so upset because I wanted the My Favorite Things Amazing Card Kit, and it had sold out so fast that I couldn't get it. And so I did the next best thing, and I ordered the parts for the maze, at least, individually. And boy, you can hear, it's raining, so it's actually thundering. You can probably hear it in the background, but sorry about that. But I had bought the spheres, and then the maze, and then I also had bought the shaker pouches. You can buy all of these right now individually, and they're pretty inexpensive. So I'm going to make an amazing card, not without the kit, just using my supplies. Now I do know that the amazing card kit came with dies, so I'm going to use my circle dies to create a frame for the maze. And then I went through all of my stamps, and I tried to find anything that had the word amazing in it, just to substitute the stamp set that I didn't get, darn it. But these turned out pretty well, and I was so happy. The kit also came with envelopes and coordinating papers, so I bought the envelopes, and they have beautiful colors, and I really like them. Very inexpensive, less than $5 for all of these, which is nice. And then I went through my cardstock, and I found coordinating cardstock that matched the envelopes, and I did really good, except for the red. Now the red I had used for my Christmas cards, so I had to use a lighter shade. But I had trimmed those down and scored them and turned them into standard A2 size cards. So we can jump in and make an amazing card. Now for our first card, I'm going to be using a paper pad. This paper pad is from my stash, an older one. It's basic gray, Kelly Berkeley's Second City, and the colors in it matched the envelopes perfectly. I mean, a vibrant, beautiful color, so I thought it would work out well. I'm going to grab a few papers from this pad, and this one has little itty bitty triangles on it with red circles on the inside, and I thought that would be nice. I'm going to trim this down, and I'm going to trim it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inch, which will make it just slightly smaller than my card base. And then I'm taking this yellow pattern paper that's kind of like a city grid. It's a two-tone, a yellow and a white, and I thought that would be nice on the card. So I took that, and I'm going to trim it down because I'm going to use my circle dies, and I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and this is just easier to grab. So that's why I'm trimming it. And then I need a solid color, so I grabbed this gray paper and did the same exact thing. Now for my card base, I'm going to be using the red card base. I think that's going to go really well with it. And so if you hear noises in the background, oh my goodness, it is thundering and lightning and raining really bad over here. So you get a little thunder in the back. But anyway, I'm taking my circle die, and I'm going to cut out a circle using my Big Shot machine, and this is actually a stitched circle die. And I cut that out, and I'm going to adhere that directly to my card base. I'm just using my glue runner to secure it. And before I put it on the card, I have some yellow and white baker's twine, and I think it goes with that yellow pattern paper really well. And I'm going to attach it to the back there, center my panel, and I wasn't sure how thick that this card was going to be, so I kind of made sure everything was a little bit one-dimensional. So I'm just going to tie a bow with the baker's twine, making the bow on the very bottom here. And I do want to let you guys know I slowed down my videos. Like I had a few comments saying that my videos were too fast, so I slowed it down a little bit, and I hope this helps out. I actually, with these mazes, I made 5 cards, but to shorten the video, I just showed you how to make the 3. At the very end, I'll show you the other 2 cards that I made to give you a little bit more inspiration. But if you did get the kit, oh my gosh, you're going to have so much fun because the colors are incredible and the mazes are so cute. And if you didn't get the kit, this is a nice substitute. I love Improvision. Oh my goodness. I guess they call me the queen of Improvision, but that's okay. I took that red or gray paper, and I use my circle die and cut that out, just slightly smaller than the first one that we cut out. And then I'm placing my little maze in the center, and using my pencil, I'm gonna mark the center of it, and then I have a little star stamp for my stash, and I'm using, this is watermelon ink that came in a C&CT stamp kit, and so I'm just stamping that red right in the middle and erasing my pencil mark, figuring out where I'm going to place my little maze. These things are so cute. I was so happy. You know, every time I see these, it reminds me of Cracker Jacks. I don't know if you all are familiar with Cracker Jacks, but sometimes it used to be when you got a prize, they give you these little itty bitty mazes in it. So that's what this reminds me of. But I'm taking the spheres and putting them in there. I actually added like 3 spheres. And then I'm just taking Tombow Mono multi-glue, going around my shaker pouch. And I'm going to just pop that right over my maze and secure it to my card base. Very simple, so easy. And I love the way that looks. It's just adorable. And then with that yellow pattern paper, I took 2 dies that went over my little maze and made a little frame. So I stacked them together, and these are stitch dies as well, so it gives a little bit of an accent. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot and cut that little circle frame out. Lovely. And I'm just going to use, again, my Tombow Mono multi-glue and glue it down over my maze to kind of give it a nice finished look. And one thing I do want to let you guys know about these mazes is I thought that they would be a lot more bulky, you know, when you make your card. But for my cards, I really like a lot of dimension in them as anyway. So this one actually, when I put it in the envelope, it actually was not as thick as you would think it would be. So that's a good thing. I'm just taking some black cardstock, and I use my anti-static powder tool. Then I'm grabbing one of my little amazing stamps here. This one says Simply Amazing. And I think the stamp set, I'm not quite sure because I didn't label it, but it was from, was it from, not Echo Park. Yeah, maybe Echo Park was the Echo Park stamp set. But anyway, I'm using my Versamark ink, and then I'm using some Glacier White embossing powder. Just going over my sentiment. And then to save time, I'm going to heat set that, and then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to do like a reverse fishtail on the end, so it's almost like an arrow. And then I'm going to pop it up with some dimensional adhesive. And now I'm just going to figure out where I'm going to put this. And I think right above the bow would look real cute. So I placed it there, and I'm going to flip it over and cut off the excess. And that's it. That's my first maze card, and it was so easy. Oh my goodness. You guys are going to have so much fun if you got this kit. Love that. So I wanted to show you how the depth of it. So in this picture you can see how thin it is, which is really nice. So, and here's a close-up of the card. That's card number 1. Now for our amazing card number 2, I'm using the same paper pad, and we're going to grab some pattern paper. And I really liked this vibrant pattern, so we grab that, and I'm going to use that yellow pattern again. And I think we need some stripes, so I'm going to pull that out too. Okay, good deal. I think those go good together. So we're going to work on our little, I'm still trying to figure out if that's the paper I want to use, but I'm going to stick with what I got. So I think for my shaker for this card, I wanted to use just the bold colors for the inside of my maze. And so I'm just trying to figure out if that's what I want to do or not. And I debated on the stripe paper or these little city block paper. So I decided to use the city block, and I'm going to cut that out run that through the Big Shot. And then I ended up wanting a frame from that same paper, so I ended up taking a smaller circle die and running that through along with the maze base. So I used a white piece of cardstock. So I have my frame, and then I have the inside of the frame, and then I have my little base. I'm taking the inside pattern paper, sticking it right in the center, and then I'm going to put my maze right on top. And from my stash I have some vibrant colored enamel dots, and I thought it'd be cute to put one little dot right in the center. And it was the orange color, so I put that there. And then I'm adding some of that Tombow Mono multi-glue. And then as you can see, I was really liking the way this looked, so I just went full force on it. And then after I got my frame glued around it, I realized that there was no action when I shook it, and I realized that I forgot the spheres. Whoopsie! So I put that down, and then I ended up lifting it up and then adding the spheres. And that was a good thing about using the Tombow Mono multi-glue, because it gives you a little bit of lead time before it dries. And so I was able to take it apart, no problems, and then I'm going to add my little spheres. In this little bag, I think you get like 20 of them, so I added a few, like 3 or 4. So, and then I'm going to go back and reassemble it, putting my little pouch on top, and then my frame. And I think this one turned out really good. I really like the way this one is. Very vibrant, which is so nice. Okay, we got our little maze done. Now we need to work on our card base. And so, I'm taking the little light blue, kind of teal colored pattern paper in my paper trimmer. I'm going to trim that down. And I'm just wanting a strip of it. And I want kind of the width of our maze. And so I use my maze as a guide. And then I want it the length of my standard size card, so it's 5.5 inches long, along with this paper as well. I just need a strip of this. So we're going to cut out that strip. And then I need a little bit more color. And so I grabbed that striped pattern paper, and I'm cutting out a strip of that. Okay, now let's assemble. For my card base, I'm just using white cardstock, standard A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5.5. I'm going to adhere the striped paper to my yellow pattern. And then I want a little bit of a white edge on each side, left and right side. So it's about 1/4 inch. I placed my paper using my grid lines on my mat to help me keep it straight. I just lined that up there and stuck it down. And I'm leaving a little bit of a white edge on the other side as well. I'm going to trim off any excess. Okay, and I like it. Now I thought it would be fun. I went through my stash, and I wanted something to be holding the sphere. So the only thing that I could find offhand was this little crab, and originally he's supposed to be holding a beach ball, but I thought it'd be cute if since the colors kind of resemble a beach ball, that I thought it'd be cute if he was holding that. So I'm grabbing my Nuvo Creative pens, and the Nuvo Creative pens come in a collection of 3, so I'm just using all 3 reds and coloring in my little crab. I was so happy with the way these turned out, and I was so bummed that I didn't get that, again, the My Favorite Things Amazing Card Kit, but I kind of don't miss it now, and I kind of think I did really good. I only spent like $18 for the elements that you could buy separately, and I think I did pretty good. So I know the kits are like $48, so I saved a little money. Actually, I did a little bit of shopping, which was fun. But I'm coloring in my crab, and I added a little bit of orange to give him a little bit of a orangey color. He looks so cute. And then I'm going to cut him out. And I did later on add some Nuvo crystal drops, the ebony black, to his eyes just to make him pop. And I'm popping my little crab up because I love dimension. And then I'm going to take my tape runner and I'm going to secure my little maze to the front of my card. Right in the center. And then put our little crab right underneath him, which looks so cute. I was happy with the way this turned out. And then I'm using a piece of black cardstock and my anti-static powder tool. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment. This sentiment, I believe, was from an older Stampin' Up! Stamp set. And it says, "You're amazing." And so I'm just going to use my white embossing powder, add that to my sentiment, and then I'm going to heat set it. There's that thunder. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is so loud. I'm surprised the power's not going out. But anyway, I'm going to heat set this, and then I'm going to take my little square punch and I'm going to fishtail the end, just one end. And square punches work great for fishtailing. And then I'm going to trim off the other side. I'm going to pop that up with some foam tape. Needed to be a little bit smaller, so I'm running it through my trimmer again. Oh my. And then take off the backing. Secure that to the bottom there. And then since I did have those enamel dots out, I thought I'd add a little bit of a confetti element to it. So I just took a couple of the colors that coordinated and added like 3 to the bottom corner and then 3 to the top corner. And I really like, this is a fun little card and I really like the way it turned out. And the nice thing about this too is it's good for anybody. I mean, it's my little one. She's helping me out here. It turned out, I was really happy with the way this turned out. Sometimes I'll make a card and I don't want to show you guys because it doesn't turn out very good. But this one I was happy with. And here I want to show you a close-up of it here. It's a cute, fun card. Okay, now we're going to work on our final card. Now I'm taking this little polka dotted paper and I'm going to use the stitched rectangle die, and this one is like maybe a 1/4 inch smaller than a standard size card base, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock. I turned it into an A2 size card, and I'm just going to directly adhere that to my card base. And then I have this is an extra large tag die, and I believe it's from C&CT. And actually, if you don't have a tag die, you can make this card without it. I would just cut a rectangle out and then corner around the edges, because I actually ended up covering up the top part of the tag. But I used this purple paper from the 6x6 paper pad, the same one, and I die cut that out. Lovely. And then I am taking a piece of white cardstock and then 2 of my circle dies and creating a frame. And I'm going to use the inside of that, so I'm going to keep the inside of the frame. I'm going to take my pencil and mark where the center is. I'm taking that hearts, or actually this is a star stamp. I'm going to take some orange ink. This is an ink cube that was from Orange Slush from a pass kit from C&CT Stamp. So, but vibrant colors, and I liked it, so I used it. And then for my stash, I grabbed a U die, and I cut out 4 of them. I wanted the stability that it gives when you stack them together, so 4 of them gave me the dimension that I wanted and the stability. So I'm just gluing them together. And the glue that I'm using is a fine tip glue pen from Stampin' Up. And it works really well. It's clear and it's thin, and it doesn't ooze as much as some do. So this worked out really good. Stacking all 4 together. And I just used plain white cardstock for this. And then I'm grabbing one of my little shaker pouches. Grab my maze. This is where I tried something different, and I encourage you guys to try it. I took an ink. This is actually passion flower ink. It's a Hero Hues. And then I took some clear embossing powder. I wanted to add a little color. So I added embossing powder to the top of that, and then grabbed my tweezers, and I'm going to heat set that. And you know, and it worked out really, really well. I mean, I think if I were to use a Versamark ink and a colored embossing powder, you could color your little mazes any color you'd want. But since I did use the Hero Hues, it didn't stick. So it was kind of a lighter color, which turned out really pretty. But I'm going to later on probably try to use a colored embossing powder to color my maze. And it worked out excellent. So you might want to try that. That's a nice little tidbit. But it just turned out like a faint little purple color. So I'm putting it, I'm gluing down my little star paper that I cut out on my frame. And then I'm going to add my little spheres. I don't want to forget those. And then taking Tombow and multi-glue again, I am going to secure my shaker pouch right on top. But the embossing powder, you guys might want to try that. You can buy the little mazes, like I said, individually like I did, and they come in white and black. And so I would suggest white because you can probably color them any color you'd like. Now I'm going to attach my frame. And I was so happy with the way this turned out. It was so fun. Okay, now I need the second part of my sentiment. So from my stash, I grabbed the stamp that said, Amaze Me. So my sentiment will say, You Amaze Me. And I believe this little sentiment too is from a Stampin' Up set. But I'm just going to use my Versamark ink, kind of positioning where I want to put it. And then I'm going to stamp the Amaze Me. And I'm going to remove the elements, and I'm going to add some white embossing powder. And here I forgot my anti-static powder tool, which I always forget. But I got lucky this time, so that's a good thing. I'm just going to go ahead and heat set that real fast. And then I'm going to assemble my little tag. I'm going to directly adhere my little maze to that upper right side. And see, here's where I covered up my tag. So if you use the white piece of, or square piece of cardstock and then corner around at the edges, it would work out the same. But I'm going to add my U, and I love the way that turned out. And then for a little accent, I grabbed some baker's twine and I doubled it up, and this is orange. It matches the little orange star in my maze. And so after doubling it up, I want to tie a little bow off to the right. And I think this is one of my favorite cards. I guess because of the purple. I like pinks and purples, so you probably noticed a lot of my cards are pinks and purples, but love the way that looked. So we're just going to adhere that directly to our card base, just using my tape runner. I think I want to put it a little bit of an angle. And that's it. That's my amazing card number 3. I hope you guys got the kit and didn't wait so long, you know, but if you didn't, this is a nice improvisation. You can go out and grab your maze and assemble it yourself, you know, without the stamp set, which will be available later on, but nice improvisation here. Thanks so much for stopping by. Oh, I actually had made 5 cards, so I didn't add them to this video, but in the very end, I added them so you could see what the other two that I made. But here's a quick look at the 3 cards that I showed how to make. And I hope this inspires you to open up your My Favorite Things Amazing Card Kit and get to crafting this weekend. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.